That's impressive. That's the best one I've tried so far.
All right, guys, you know I've been doing some taste test videos, and you also know that I have been on the hunt for the perfect vegan corn dog. So far, no luck. I would love to see their hot dog from Field Roast with this batter. So I'm going to try and make it myself today. Today I wanted to try and make the perfect, authentic, vegan version of a pogo that I grew up eating, that I loved going to the fair. Yes, I grew up in a town small enough to have a fair. I would have these with my dad. He always bought them as like a fun snack for us to have as little kids. We would, you know, swirl the ketchup and the mustard on it. And as an adult, sometimes I want those nostalgic moments, and I know you guys want to as well. I think it's gonna be super simple. We just have to make a couple swaps to traditionally non-vegan ingredients and call it a day. So corn dogs or pogos, that's what my dad always had in the freezer when I was a kid, was a super popular like after school snack, and also like a birthday party like appetizer type thing that whenever we had birthday parties was always out there with like the chips and the hamburgers and that sort of thing. I know that if you grew up in the 90s like I did, you're gonna know exactly what this is. You're gonna have the flavor in your mind, and we are going to veganize it. If you're new here, I'm Candace, the Edgy Veg. I make delicious vegan versions of your favorite recipes. If you like these recipes, give it a big huge thumbs up and let me know in the comment section down below what other foods you'd like me to veganize. Let's start with the vegan version of a hot dog. There's a bunch of different options out there by a bunch of different brands. My biggest tip for you is to just pick your favorite. These ones are my favorite. They are the Field Roast Frankfurter. These are my favorite like versions of a hot dog. The key with these guys, no matter what brand it is it's some of them come more dry, some of them come with kind of an oily film. You wanna make sure that you pat them completely dry so that the batter sticks. For the skewering, all you need is skewers. They're already vegan because they're bamboo. Instead of egg, we are going to use aquafaba, my favorite egg replacer, and we are going to mix that with some soy milk. Love to fry, and I love to cook with soy milk instead of almond milk or any other kind of plant-based milk because it has a high protein content, so it works very well with the egg replacer to get that really nice binding effect, and it's less likely to burn. Then the rest of the ingredients are more or less the same. We have our cornmeal. I like to do 50-50 fine ground and 50-50 traditional. Normal AP flour, baking powder to help it fluff up. We got some sugar to get that nice crunch, and salt and pepper. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is mix the dry ingredients together. So that is my all-purpose flour, my cornmeal, my sugar, my pepper, my salt, and my baking powder. And give that a good whisk. You want all of your ingredients to be combined. All right, now I'm going to mix my wet ingredients. So we have our soy milk and our aquafaba, and just give that a good whisk until they're combined. What I'm going to do now is mix my wet ingredients into my dry, and then I'm going to let it sit. This is really key to getting like a nice fluffy batter. I like to do this first and then do everything else. It's the key to getting like the best corn dogs ever. So I'll mix these together, then I'll heat my oil, then I will prep my skewers and my hot dogs. All right, so what you wanna do here is get a glass or a jar that is taller than your dog's. So this one's pretty good. Ideally, you know, something wider than this is better, but I don't have like a beer pint glass because I just don't keep them at home. And you just wanna pour the batter into the glass very carefully. Going shockingly well. All right, so I've patted my veggie wieners. What we're going to do is just roll it into a little bit of flour, just like a light dusting. And this is going to help the batter stick. And then we're going into the batter. Ready for this dip? Ooh, yeah. And then if it doesn't go all the way up, you can just, you know, move it around. Give it a little twirly twirl. And then we're going to throw it into our oil. Nope. Yep. This is a lot easier if you have a deep fryer because you can really submerge it. With ours, we're just gonna, you know, move it around, make sure it's completely covered, and cook that, I would say, for about 2 to 4 minutes depending on what you're using. All right, so I'm just moving it around. This is why a good narrow one like this is good. And then kind of just, you know, the key is to get it in there as quickly as possible. All right, so if you look at the first one that I made, the oil was definitely way too hot. So we turned that down a little bit, about like 350. Between 325 and 350 is best. And then I also noticed that if you really just let it linger before you throw it into the, I guess what I'm trying to say is throw it into your oil with conviction, or else you're gonna end up with a little penis on your corn dog, or a little nose, I guess, to keep it PG. If you are stovetop frying, I like to just pour oil over the top for easy and even cooking, because often it's hard to like turn these because they're just little tiny sticks when they're not like a solid batter yet. All right, friends, pogo time is here. Let's jump on this pogo stick. So there's a couple different ways that you can eat a pogo. Some people just like to, ooh, swirly. Some people like to do the mustard swirl. Some people like to do the ketchup swirl and the mustard swirl. I'm gonna do the mustard swirl and then dip into ketchup. Oh my gosh, so good. This is everything I remember. The batter is like so crunchy and sweet on the outside, and it's nice and doughy on the inside. This hot dog is the perfect hot dog. It doesn't have any like weird Italian spices or anything in it to take away from the corn flavor. Remember how we couldn't find good corn dog / pogos for taste test?
Yes.
I decided to make my own.
These look legit.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well fucking done. That's impressive. That's the best one I've tried so far.
I mean, I hope so. Because the other ones were not good.
What was the wiener that you used in this?
Okay, so remember how we liked the wiener in the field roast mini dogs?
Yes.
But we didn't like the batter and we didn't like how expensive and small they were?
No.
I found the same wiener that they use in those, but made a way better, like carnival fair batter.
I'm so impressed with the dough around it too. Nailed it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay, bye.
If you're new here, goodbye. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on these delicious recipes every single week. If you like this recipe, give it a big, huge thumbs up and let me know in the comment section down below what dish you'd like me to veganize next, and I'll see you next time. Bye.